against Virginia tomorrow night. Roger Ayers, A.J. Desai, Ted Valentine are the officials. And away we go. First possession belongs to the Tigers. Well, a good matchup at the point. Joyner guarding Chase Hunter. This is P.J. Hall. Better than 15 a game. D.J. Burns is on him. Turnaround by Hall is short.
D.J. Burns, the lefty, had 24 points against Clemson in one of the earlier games. But it's difficult for him to have to guard P.J. Hall because P.J. Hall can step away. He can play pick and pop and draw him away from the basket.
If you haven't seen State, if you haven't seen D.J. Burns, now as that goes down for Terquavion Smith, and he makes an early statement in this game. This Wolfpack team, all kinds of fun, whether it's Smith and Joyner in the backcourt or Burns, the big fella in the middle.
Well, Terquavion Smith has yet to find a shot that he cannot make anywhere on the floor. And when he gets hot, forget it. It's video game stuff.
And an early 3-0 lead for the Wolfpack.
And Smith came in to the game against Virginia Tech. In his last two prior to that, he'd been 5 of 25 from the field. But that's but a distant memory after that 30-point performance.
Right back into Hall. Burns got some help from Smith, and the Pack forced the turnover.
Great dig down by Terquavion Smith.
Joyner, the transfer from Ole Miss. A 6th-year player along with the sophomore in Smith, and just 2 dynamic guards at both ends of the floor.
Now this high-low pass, watch Terquavion Smith digs down and goes after the ball, knocks it away from P.J. Hall. And you had D.J. Burns stay in between Hall and the basket to force the turnover. And you can't make D.J. Burns play one-on-one against Hall. And this is where it's really dangerous. That pick and pop stuff. If D.J. Burns helps on the ball, he's got to recover too far to get out to P.J. Hall. That's what's difficult about this matchup with Hall and then with Hunter Tyson as well.
Hall at 6'10", 40% from 3 on the season. Tyson, first team All ACC, 41% from 3 on the season. And speaking of threes, Casey Morsell.
The second chance, kicking it out for a 3. You're just not going to find a better chance to knock in a 3.
Morsell, a vastly improved three-point shooter from where he was a couple of years ago when he was with Virginia. Missed 3 there, and a pretty good look for Chase Hunter.
This team gets the ball down court so quickly.
Long shot, long rebound for Joyner.
And actually long rebounds give a little bit of an advantage to NC State. They don't want to have to grind it out underneath against this physical Clemson team.
You don't have to watch the Wolfpack for long to see the confidence with which they play, but it bears repeating. Clemson beat them twice during the regular season, by 14 at Clemson on December the 30th, and then by 25 less than 2 weeks ago in Raleigh. Burns. He's a lefty, didn't get the call. Big fella, but great footwork, good hands, and he has been a major force for State this year. Galloway unimpeded all the way to the rim.
And give credit there to Ian Shefflin for screening off the help defender to allow that drive all the way to the basket by Galloway.
3 minutes in, the Wolfpack by 4. Smith draws the foul. Tough to keep him in front of you.
You get your chest on him, and he sold that call very well. But you have to press up on Terquavion Smith because he can shoot it from so deep, and that gives him that first step to be able to get around you.
And that's a big loss for Clemson. That is the second foul already on Brevin Galloway. Brad Brownells had to go to his bench. Redshirt freshman Josh Beadle is into the game as the reverse goes for Joyner. And Clemson is very, very young in their second unit. One of the reasons is they're without an upperclassman, Alex Hemingway, who underwent an emergency appendectomy a couple of days ago. So he is out, and it's basically, for the most part, freshmen off the bench for Clemson.
Good little brush screen up top to free Jack Clark for that pick and pop action. And he can make that shot. He's a good perimeter shooter that can really stretch a defense.
Clark getting the start because Greg Gant is out tonight. Suffered a knee injury in the win last night. Ian Shefflin, who kept the toe down, but it's out of bounds and back over to NC State. The Wolfpack 23-9 on the season, 12-8 in the league, and they come in as the 6th seed, playing their second game in as many nights. This is the first game for Clemson. They got the double bye, being one of the top 4 seeds.
Well, Clemson does such a good job of staying in gaps. They're physical on the ball, and they show you bodies, not wood. Nice up and under move.
Burns couldn't finish it, though.
Still had to finish through the chest of P.J. Hall. That's not easy to do. When you turn your back on the inbounder, Jarkel Joyner is smart enough to take advantage of it. He sees the defender's back, throws it right off of him, comes in. Now, I think you should get an assist and a bucket there. That should be an assist, or at least Chase Hunter should get it. Great play by Jarkel Joyner.
Love your cat but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life. Over 12,000 agents there to help guide you through life's happiest and most difficult times. And Dave & Buster's, the best place to watch your team with your team. Well, as we mentioned, a big win for State last night. About the only downside was an injury suffered in the game. With more, here's Holly.
Well, that's right. Greg Gant went down with a very awkward-looking knee injury to his right knee in the game last night. And Coach Keats called this a big blow. He had just really started to play very well for them. He's come back for a couple of different things this season, playing 17 minutes a game. He has been a big-time glue guy for the Wolfpack. He has been on crutches out here, a heavy brace on that right knee. And Coach Keats said they're not exactly sure the extent of his injury. They were going to talk about getting an MRI, but we'll let you know when we have more on that.
So, Jay, what do they lose without Gant, and what do they get or gain by having Jack Clark, a former starter himself this year, taking his place?
Well, Jack Clark can stretch the floor, which is not something that Greg Gant does at 6'8" and a junior. But Gant is a really good defender. He can defend multiple positions. He can switch out. A good rebounder. He had 10 rebounds earlier this year against Wake Forest. And he brings a ton of energy.
So over and back on Clemson.
You're going to see Ebenezer Duana play more in Gant's absence. Probably Ernest Ross, who's about 6'9", another good energy guy. He'll need to do more. You know, nobody has to be Superman in Gant's absence, but you're going to have players off the bench do more.
Ebenezer Duana has come into the game in the middle for DJ Burns for State. Duana had 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks off the bench. A great effort last night.
I think DJ Burns there was putting on some sort of headband or something for his hair, something you and I don't have to worry about anymore.
That's many, many years in the rearview mirror. Then Middlebrooks in off the bench for Clemson, sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. Again, they are very young on the bench.
You know who Ben Middlebrooks' uncle is, don't you?
Who?
Danny Cannell.
Oh, right.
So Ben is not going to his uncle for help with his homework.
Beadle no, and Middlebrooks the foul. How do you evaluate the case of this team? Again, we talked to Brad Brownell about it. You know, there are some teams who don't have those big wins, but they don't have the troubling losses. Clemson has some really good wins, but 2 or 3 losses that kind of stand out on their resume. Which kind of, you know, if two teams have similar numbers, but one's got the better wins, but also the troubling losses, which case do you prefer?
The first thing you look at if you're evaluating two teams is which of the two do you think is better? And if you can't answer that question, then you go to the paper. But I'm not troubled by a couple of losses. All these teams are going to have losses. What my thing is, who can you beat? And Clemson's proven they can beat good teams.
Yeah.
And look, every committee member is going to vote their own conscience and the way they look at it. All the votes are different. I don't think the committee's necessarily of one mind. But when I look at Clemson, I see a tournament team.
I agree with you. Tyson knocks down the 3. First team all ACC, Hunter Tyson. Almost 16 points per game, almost 10 rebounds per game.
And with all respect to Quentin Post of Boston College, who was the ACC's most improved player, I thought that Hunter Tyson should have been first team all ACC and the ACC's most improved player. He went from good player to star. Like, he is a bona fide star that's a complete player. He knocks down threes. He just hit his 77th 3 of the season with a little late pressure. You know, he averages just under 10 rebounds per game. That's 4th in the league. The jump that he made from last year to solid starter to first team all ACC, you have to give that young man a ton of credit. He has worked to be one of the best players in the league and one of the most respected players in the league.
Remember, he broke his collarbone last year. 2 years ago, took, I think, a knee to the face, suffered facial fractures. One of the best things, maybe the best thing Clemson's had going for it this year is they've had a healthy Hunter Tyson and a healthy P.J. Hall. Both of those guys have dealt with multiple injuries in their careers. Joyner got his man in the air, didn't he?
He is so good with hesitation moves, that little juke move and the shot fake, drawing the foul. He is a player, man.
Holly.
Well, Hunter Tyson's not only terrific on the court, but right before the game, he was given the Skip Prosser Award, given annually to the top scholar athlete in the ACC. It's, of course, named after former Wake Forest coach, but he is a 4-time member of the All-ACC academic basketball team. He's got a 3.9 GPA with an emphasis in athletic leadership, member of the president's list, and there you see him getting it from Commissioner Jim Phillips before the game. He is a terrific athlete. Not only that, guys, he has fought through a lot. A broken collarbone, a broken bone in his face. This is a tough young man. Good grades, great on the court. What don't you love about Hunter Tyson?
You love to see it. Now hoping to cap off his career with a trip to the NCAA tournament as Burns checks back in for State.
Well, to answer Holly's question, I hear he's not a great dancer.
Oh, nobody's perfect.
Well,
present company excluded. The things I have to say, America.
You didn't have to say it. You just kept me from saying it.
Wolfpack by 6.
The job Chase Hunter's done this year for Clemson, switching over to the point guard position. He was a guy last year would hunt his own shot. Now he's doing that. He's scoring and running the team. You know, 7th in the league in assists. He's got a 2-to-1 assist turnover ratio and still averaging about 13, 14 points a game.
Casey Morsell back into the game as Joyner gets a breather. Clemson started off the year 7-0 in ACC play. They were 18-4 overall at one point, got into the rankings, took some losses down the stretch, and now hoping to get hot here again late in the season. But they got a tough challenge tonight. Yeah, they're the 3 seed and State's the 6. Nice spin move there by Middlebrooks, and he'll head to the line. But I think this State team is one that you don't have to watch a lot of them to say if they're clicking, they can play with just about anybody.
Well, especially their guards, that guard trio with Morsell, Smith, and Joyner. You know, those guys can make shots from anywhere. But that last play when Middlebrooks caught the ball in the middle of the lane, he got that deep post position. But DJ Burns just has to stay between him and the basket. If he pivots in there, who cares if he pivots out toward the wing or toward the top of the key? You're protecting the basket.
Hunter's going to sit now. So Hunter's on the bench. Hall is on the bench. It is Beadle and Dylan Hunter, younger brother of Chase, in the backcourt right now for the Tigers.
There's a lot of Hunters going on in the game. Hunter Tyson, Dylan Hunter, Chase Hunter. It's better to be the hunter than the hunted.
Brad Brownell knew he would need some strong contributions from the bench tonight against this NC State team, which in spite of some injuries this year has showed impressive depth. Burns. You know, if you don't like DJ Burns, you don't like fun. He is fun to watch.
Well, just the back down of Ben Middlebrooks. And Middlebrooks did a good job just being physical with him and making him score over the top. He made a tough shot over pressure.
Burns started his career at Tennessee and then came from Winthrop. Big South Player of the Year last year for the Eagles.
Nice job by Smith to stay in front on that drive.
That's a pretty good look there for Hunter Tyson. Won't go. And now he's got his hands full with the big fella again. And over the back, Jack Clark.
DJ Burns, 6'9", lefty, and he is a load down in the low post. Gives a little juke move, goes back to that left hand and gets it off the glass. Nice move by the big fella.
Love your cat but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
So much going on during Champ Week. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Championship continues all week. Kansas, Iowa State, and Texas have already advanced. Kansas State up 6 very early against TCU for the last spot in the semifinals. That game currently airing on ESPN2. And again, sending our best wishes to Kansas coach, Hall of Famer Bill Self, away from the team due to a health issue, will not coach at all in the Big 12 tournament. We talked about it in the first game tonight. Everybody around the college basketball world sending their best to Bill Self for a speedy recovery.
Not only one of the best coaches in the game, one of the best guys. Yep. Wishing all the best to Bill Self. He takes a little bit of time to get healthy.
Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Holly Rowe, NC State, Clemson. The winner will take on to Virginia in a semifinal here with the New York Life ACC tournament. A 3 misses for Chase Hunter. Long rebound, bounces to P.J. Hall. And he got caught. Yep, used the off arm, knocked down Smith, and gets called for his first. And right now, it is not going for the Tigers like it did in the 2 regular season meetings where they beat the Wolfpack by a combined 39 points. You mentioned Ernest Ross a little bit earlier. He is into the game for the first time now for the Pack.
Clemson does such a great job. Look how their help side defense is loaded up. They can turn you into a one-on-one team.
Well, Burns is getting the shots he wants. He's just not hitting them tonight.
A great save by Shefflin, and then P.J. Hall came right back to the ball. That could have easily been NC State's ball.
And a 10-second call going against Clemson.
The clock started when Shefflin got possession of the ball.
So the 5th turnover committed already by the Tigers in just over 9 minutes of action.
Clemson making catches difficult for NC State.
And they still score. Smith in traffic.
If you gamble, Terquavion Smith can make you pay for it. He's just a natural scorer.
He's got 5, State by 9, their largest lead of the night.
There's a high-low. Good help by Smith.
Shefflin from the elbow, and he'll knock it down. Ian Shefflin, the sophomore from Loganville, Georgia, had an absolutely incredible game against Notre Dame on Saturday. 7 for 7, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. This is not a top 100 guy, a 3-star prospect, but a guy who seems to be getting better and better. And Brad Brownell said part of their job is to convince him how good he can be.
Well, he makes smart plays out there. Uses his body really well.
They love his passing ability.
Yeah, and he's a capable shooter when he's open.
Hall.
How pretty is that? Just spinning off the defense. Just a great feel of where the defense is playing him.
And a little spurt here from the Tigers to get back within 5. Joyner thought about it, puts it up, misses it, and back comes Clemson.
Good late pressure by P.J. Hall.
Hall for 3. Got it!
And that's what DJ Burns has a tough time with, that pick and pop action. P.J. Hall sets the screen and then pops to the open area to the 3-point line. That's a lot of ground for DJ Burns to cover.
So the size and strength of Burns at one end, and then the pick and pop ability of Hall at the other. Smith short. Clemson a ball with a chance to tie or take the lead, already on a 7-0 run. And Chase Hunter is fouled.
Now watch P.J. Hall, the 2 separate plays here. Ross gets on the high side, and he just spins off to that right-handed jump hook along the baseline. Here, the pick and pop. The screen, Burns hedges toward the ball, and now he has to recover all the way out to the 3-point line. Boy, that is a versatile big guy at 6'10". They can pick and pop from the 3-point line or take you down into the post.
And a guy coming off an off-season knee injury was on a minutes restriction early in the year. Brad Brownell telling us it took him a couple of months really to feel like himself. How about Shefflin spinning, finishing, and tying the game?
Well, could have taken that jumper, but instead just went to the back down. And that's an example of him using his body well. He's not a guy that's going to play above the rim, but he uses his body and plays angles very effectively.
9-0 run, as you can see, Clemson to tie the game. Smith keeps the dribble alive. Follow won't go. And it's Clemson ball with a chance to push.
Numbers.
Dylan Hunter, yes. Timeout, Kevin Keats.
Clemson just keeps grinding at both ends of the floor. Skilled big guys. And you mentioned Ian Shefflin just taking advantage, using that body, getting right into the defender. And then Clemson with the run out, a 3-on-2, and a terrific take to the basket by Dylan Hunter.
Love your cat, but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
The latest bracketology update from Joe Lunardi. Clemson moved up even coming into this game. North Carolina was first 4 out. Dr. Lenardi's got them down on the next 4 out. Clemson was next 4 out. Now they are first 4 out. Arizona State on ESPN after this game tonight against USC. If you're a Clemson fan, you'll want to see what the Sun Devils are up to. Holly.
Well, in that last NC State huddle, a couple of frustrations boiling over, teammates talking to each other, and DJ Burns just saying, hey, guys, we got to stay together right now. Coach Keats reminded them this is a game of runs. Basketball is a game of runs. We went on ours, they went on theirs. Everybody just settle back in.
Well, they continue to be on theirs. A steal and finish for Dylan Hunter, and it is now a 13-0 run for the Tigers.
And that's an example of Clemson and their gap protection. You know, their help side defense is so good. You know, they play the ball. They don't just play their man. And the ball keeps them in good position on help side. But NC State needs to get more pressure on Clemson on their defensive end. That's how they won the game against Virginia Tech, was through their defense. They made shots, but their defense is what set them up. And when you're driving, that initial, look how the help is positioned. He's driving into 3 Clemson Tigers. There is nowhere to go. And just really good hands by Hunter there to take it the other way. And you know, NC State's not a team that turns the ball over a lot. They've got a really high turnover margin. They only turned it over like 9.5 times a game and a +4 turnover margin. That's one of the best in the country and the best in the ACC.
A burst of speed from Traquavion Smith, but a tough shot that doesn't come close, and it's back over to the Tigers.
You know, Clemson's defense turns you into a one-on-one team. And you can get penetration against Clemson, but it can sometimes be 1 or 2 dribble penetration, and then you've got to spray it out and play out of it. If you're going to try to take it all the way off a dribble move, their help side's too good.
And Kevin Keats told us this morning this is a tough matchup for them. Jack Clark with a steal and lays it in. That's a big bucket for State. Snaps the 13-0 run.
Really nice play by Jack Clark to just shoot the gap. Greg Gant out with that injury, up and cheering on his teammates.
PJ Hall on the bench right now for Clemson. And Middlebrooks up front with Tyson. This is Shefflin. Spins. A little bit short. Tyson the rebound. In some traffic. And he'll kick it back out. Middlebrooks draws a foul on Duana.
Just a bit of a lazy pass, just trying to get it back out for a reversal, and Jack Clark takes it the other way. And Brad Brownell, coaches tend not to like turnovers for touchdowns. You cannot defend a run out. You just make a pass fake and let the defender shoot the gap and then make the pass.
Clemson, an original member of this conference. They have never won the ACC tournament. They have made the final twice. They are trying. This is their first game here in the 70th edition of the ACC tournament. The 29th time it has been here in Greensboro. You know, with the 4 teams that we had here for the night session, Carolina, Virginia first, and now Clemson and NC State, all relatively close to varying degrees here to Greensboro. All have traveled well. You see red and blue and orange and purple and everything in the building here tonight. It's fun. Knocked away, recovered by Smith. Back to Burns.
Two big, strong bodies going at one another.
And a play on. And now a foul.
The called goaltending.
Goaltending, yeah. Well, you're not kidding about 2 big, strong guys.
Chase Hunter and PJ Hall return to the Clemson lineup.
Middlebrook sits. Hall is back. So a different challenge now with the defensive end for Burns.
You have to expect that Clemson's going to go back to some of that pick and pop action, try to move DJ Burns around.
Tyson into Hall. Jump hook. No. Shefflin in the right place at the right time. Kick out to Hunter. for three.
But what a play by Ian Shefflin. Such a good position rebounder and a wedge rebounder on the offensive end. When he didn't have the immediate stick back, he's got the basketball IQ to look out for an open three-point shooter.
He's all over the place. Hair's flying. Jerseys coming untucked. Burns inside. Nothing much you can do there.
And when he spins off, if you get on the high side of him, if he goes middle, at least he's going away from that left hand when he's on the left block.
Shefflin over a couple of defenders for the basket.
In the first two games that Clemson and NC State played, Ian Shefflin had 6 points in each game against the Wolfpack.
It's amazing how far out Burns starts his move and how deep he can get. This time the kick. Joyner misses the three.
You know, the tempo and rhythm of this game favors Clemson.
A little bit slower than State would like.
It's not so much the slower, but they're just making him guard in the half court instead of letting NC State get out in full court where they're really dangerous.
Beadle turns it over.
Joyner's so good with the ball. He changes speed so well.
We talked about it, 20 points, 10 assists last night against Virginia Tech. Now on the right side of the floor, Burns.
Now he wants to get to the middle.
Always wants to get to his left hand, and Jay somehow always does get to his left hand. Crowd wants, or the Clemson, the State fans rather, want a flop as well. They don't get it, but they do get the bucket for Burns.
Well, the fact that we've seen a bunch of guys go down on some of these back downs, and P.J. Hall taking advantage there of D.J. Burns out by the three-point line, and that draws him away from the basket. But the fact that they haven't been called and no flop was called either shows that, you know, the referees aren't fooled. They don't need this flop call. Just don't call it.
Foul on Burns. His second.
P.J. Burns is a load inside. Just drops that shoulder. P.J. Hall goes down. And then it's a pretty easy score. Once your guy's on his back, hard to block a shot. That's my experience anyway.
I used to be a cat lady. Now I'm a cat goddess, thanks to Pretty Litter. It soaks up odor better than any cat litter I've ever used. It's ultra light and changes color to monitor my cat's health. Pretty Litter tells you what your cat can't. 'Cause a happy feline makes life divine. And Pretty Litter delivers to your door. It's all pretty magical if you ask me. Go to prettylitter.com.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business. And Chang Can Dunk, an original movie, streaming March 10th only on Disney+. We got a good one here between Clemson and NC State, the winner to advance into the semis to take on Virginia tomorrow night. Coming up at the half, it's the All-State halftime report. Reese Davis. See, Reese Davis. LaFonso Ellis. Say hi, Fonz.
Hi, Fonz.
Hi, Fonz. And last but not least, Coach Greenberg. They will tell you about the Heels. They're done in the ACC tournament, and you got to believe their hopes of an NCAA tournament bid are done as well. Duke and Miami winning earlier today will meet in the semifinal tomorrow night. The Canes and the Blue Devils split their two matchups. A narrow win by Duke in Durham, and then Miami ran Duke out of the gym down in Coral Gables. That'll be an interesting matchup tomorrow night.
Looking forward to halftime with Reese, Fonz, and the coach. But we have blown out the budget here at the ACC tournament, and the lion's share of the budget has gone for hair and makeup, especially hair for Reese Davis. You should see the amount of people that first have to staple that toupee onto that head and then work it from there. The amount of hairspray.
It looks good.
It looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear about how good it looks, say hello to Reese and he'll tell you all about it.
Well, of the 5 of us, he's the only one getting any work done on his hair. In case you're wondering, because from behind we look the same. That's me. That's him. Why we're not taking advantage of the NIL space we've got up there is beyond me.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yep. Clemson by 6. They trailed, went on a 13-0 run.
Very little for NC State in transition. And Chase Hunter's done a nice job on Terquavian Smith.
Tyson down with a rebound in traffic off the miss by Smith.
Hunter Tyson, one of the best defensive rebounders in the country. He gets about 8 defensive rebounds a game.
Last night, by the way, Terquavian Smith 11 for 13. Tonight 2 for 9. All faces up on Dewana. And left it short.
Nice job by Dewana. He had such a good game against Virginia Tech. Had 11 points in that first half. He's just so energetic. Blocked a couple of shots. Just a presence.
Boy, Smith had Tyson on him. Elected to pass off instead of going at him. Joyner rejected by Hall. That surprises me. Smith can get by just about anybody. And had a big guy on him, but passed the ball away.
But anytime you drive, you're driving into help. And that help is so well positioned. P.J. Hall right in the middle of the lane. You know, Clemson just rallies to the ball. Everybody in the appropriate gap.
Smith with his 3rd field goal of the night. State back within 4.
He doesn't need much room, does he? Any little opening, and he gets up and gets that shot off so quickly. Just an explosive offensive player. I don't think NC State is putting enough pressure on the ball. They're really not making Clemson as uncomfortable as they need to. And a nice job by Casey Morcell there, but he picked up the foul.
NC State foul on 0. Terquavian Smith, 2nd personal.
And this is where Kevin Keats talks about the difficulty in the matchup. Either they've got a guy like Burns having to chase Tyson or Hall out to the 3-point line, or if Burns is on the bench, Jay, they're giving up some size down low.
Well, Clemson presents some really difficult matchup problems when they have P.J. Hall and Hunter Tyson on the floor at the same time. Both of them can go into the post depending on the matchup guarding them, and both of them can knock down threes. And between them, they've knocked down over 100 threes on the year.
Both are very good foul shooters as well.
Actually, that's a real strength of Clemson. They've got 4 guys that shoot over 80%. That play the most minutes.
They are 3rd in the nation as a team, shooting over 79% from the line.
And how valuable is that going down the stretch in big games?
Terquavian Smith went to the bench. That foul his 2nd, so he'll sit for the rest of the half.
A roll replace action.
Clark for 3.
So when that ball screen was set by Dewana, Jack Clark was in the middle of the lane. As Dewana rolled out of it, Clark just replaced up the lane.
Hunter Tyson saying to one of the officials, he's grabbing my jersey.
I mean, this is an incredibly physical team, Clemson. And they dish it out. And you have to expect you're going to get some of it back, and NC State's giving it back.
Hunter races. Dylan Hunter races into the front court.
Hunter's got good speed. Good passer. How about that pass?
Shefflin for 3. The assist to Chase Hunter. And Ian Shefflin again is playing some great basketball here for the Tigers.
That was a 35-foot hook pass.
Final minute of the first half. Clemson to buy a half dozen.
Same play again, that roll replace action.
Deep one for Clark. And it goes.
Yeah, that's 6 points just off that one play, that one action.
And Brad Brownell will take a timeout here to set something up at the end of the half.
And we talked about the value of Jack Clark, who transferred in from LaSalle. Well, he's knocked down 2 big threes to make it a 1-possession game.
I used to be a cat lady. Now I'm a cat goddess, thanks to Pretty Litter. It soaks up odor better than any cat litter I've ever used. It's ultra light and changes color to monitor my cat's health. Pretty Litter tells you what your cat can't. 'Cause a happy feline makes life divine. And Pretty Litter delivers to your door. It's all pretty magical if you ask me. Go to prettylitter.com.
Got it.
Now watch Jack Clark right here. So there's going to be a ball screen out top, and then the roll action. So all the defense is going to the roll. Shefflin recovers, but Jack Clark replaces up. So they call that roll replace action, with Clark being the replace guy. And NC State's run that twice in a row, and Clark has gotten 2 3-point shots off him, nailed them both. And those were really big shots for NC State to make this a 1-possession game.
Clark started the first 15 games of the season before suffering an abdominal injury in a game against Clemson. Actually missed 10 games. Now that Greg Gant is out, Clark back into the starting lineup tonight. Clemson basically could hold right down to the end here. A 1-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Chase Hunter down to 10.
Back screen, ball screen.
Galloway finds Hall. Hall with a hop step and is called for the offensive foul.
So
His
now,
second.
So now NC State, he bobbled it here. That's why they didn't call the walk. But a good job right there by Breon Pass to take the charge, and now just under 4 seconds, and you can dribble it a couple times to get a shot off.
Joyner does. As the first half comes to a close, good competitive first half between 2 good teams here, with Clemson leading 39-36, 50 for Smith and Joyner last night. Still doing well, but a little more in check. The field goal percentage down quite a bit, 17 in the first half. Holly Rose with Brad Brownell.
Well, Coach, you guys had a great stretch in the first half, a 13-0 run. How did P.J. Hall start to employ him a little bit differently?
Well, I think we had a nice mix of, we posted him some early and then got him away from the basket. He knocked in a couple threes. Thought our guys were a little nervous the first few minutes. Hopefully we're settling in now.
Looks like it. Just when you think you've done.
They were efficient. I mean, they've got so many versatile big guys, and they did a good job of putting NC State into some ball screen situations. I thought NC State overhelped. Watch, you can see a little dribble handoff, and then there was overhelp by DJ Burns. He stayed with the ball too long, and he's got to recover out to P.J. Hall, and P.J. Hall knocks down one of those 3 threes. And then everybody in the lane, and Hunter Tyson does a nice job of relocating, and Casey Morcell has a long closeout. They knock down another 3, but Clemson, they shot 54% in that first half, but they didn't get as many shot attempts as NC State because they turned it over 8 times.
And a foul on P.J. Hall right off the bat here in the second half as we check in with Holly.
Kevin Keats kept using the word fight. We've got to fight. We're not fighting for position. We're too far behind. P.J. Hall is hurting us inside. Our guards have got to fight. They've got to put more ball pressure on the ball. He just kept talking about they're just not fighting hard enough, particularly their defensive positioning. Let's see if they can get it a little bit better right now.
Holly, thank you. A significant foul, the third on Hall, and Brad Brownell has to take one of his stars, Jay, out of the game right away here in the second half.
And without P.J. Hall on the floor, Clemson becomes less versatile offensively. Ben Middlebrooks comes in, and he's more of an interior player. He's not going to be knocking down threes. So all of a sudden, DJ Burns can stay in the middle of the lane.
Nice touch there by Chase Hunter to extend the lead to 5, as Hall is now relegated to the role of a cheerleader on the Clemson bench. Again, big picture for those around the country may not be all that familiar. NC State seems safely in the tournament. Clemson, although they are the 3 seed in the ACC, they've got some good wins, but a couple of losses that jump out on you. Joe Lunardi right now has them out of the field in the first 4 out as Hunter knocks down another one. So a win over NC State, a 3rd win this year over the Wolfpack, would be extremely meaningful for the Tigers.
Well, you can see Chase Hunter with those 2 buckets after halftime. The second one coming in transition after a sloppy turnover by NC State. And what do you do to stop that? Once he gets into your chest, knocks you back, doesn't matter whether you're as strong as Ben Middlebrooks. You take that kind of jolt, it's hard to hold your position.
He is now 5 for 9, DJ Burns, and Jay, I think all 9 of them he's gotten back to his strong hand, to his left hand. With his size, he's going to get going the way he wants to get going. You play against anybody like him?
Not quite like him, no.
Hunter again.
The only guy I played against like DJ Burns was probably Jim Smith of Ohio State, playing pro ball in Italy. When he took him a while to get down the court. He was older, but when he did, boy, he locked you down.
And there's a little added element to his game. The first time, little fadeaway jumper off one leg for DJ Burns, and he is keeping State close.
And how about the bumps he was taking from Ben Middlebrooks? I mean, you talk about physical.
Big South Player of the Year a year ago at Winthrop.
His coach was Pat Kelsey, who's now the head coach at Charleston. They'll be playing in the tournament. They've won over 30 games. They're going to be a tough out. They shoot a ton of threes, and they play a really fast tempo.
Jack Clark hit a couple of big threes in the first half for the Wolfpack.
I'm so impressed with Clemson's defense. Good cut.
And how about a nice pretty bounce pass from Burns, and State within 3.
Right, because of the spread floor, and that's part of the value of Jack Clark in addition to his rebounding. He's a very good rebounder. This is the best rebounding year he's ever had as a college player.
Shefflin had a big first half. And Middlebrooks fouled by Burns, and that'll be the 3rd on him.
Well, DJ Burns posting up on the wing, and just a quick 45-degree cut by Jack Clark. And look at this. I mean, you kidding me? That's a lot of contact there. Looked like a sumo wrestling match.
And after that call on Burns, Kevin Keats stood for about 10 seconds with his hands on his head, and you could see him thinking to himself, what do I do? What do I do? And at the last moment, he called Dewana, sent him to the scorer's table, so Burns will be coming out at the next whistle. And that whistle is now. So Hall on the bench for Clemson, Burns on the bench for State.
Both coaches trying to buy a little time. Brad Brownell trying to buy time before he can put P.J. Hall back in the game. And Hall standing up just so he could try to stay loose a little bit.
Tyson. Yes.
When he shoots it from the catch spot, it's down. I mean, Hunter Tyson shoots over 40% from 3, just about 50% from the field, and almost 85% from the line. Talk about an efficient front court player. That's him.
And how about the 31-point, 15-rebound effort he had in the first win of the year over the Wolfpack?
Well, he's had 15 double-doubles on the season. Been about as consistent at a high level as any player in the ACC, let alone any big guy.
Smith, and Middlebrooks is called for the foul.
The Tigers fouls whistle on number 10, and Middlebrooks. Second personal.
Well, North Carolina State overall has done a pretty good job on Hunter Tyson. He hasn't had too many openings, but this one, after the screen by Shefflin on the ball reversal, you shoot it from the catch spot, it's down, and the bench loves it.
Love your cat, but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. When you take care of your team, they take care of business. Started with 15 teams. It's getting whittled down here into Greensboro. 5 remain. Miami and Duke in the first semifinal tomorrow, and then Virginia against the winner of this one. So the Virginia coaching staff is still in the house here, Jay, doing a little bit of scouting. What did you like about the Who's performance against Carolina?
I thought Virginia was just so good on the offensive end. They got in that mover blocker offense, and their cutting and passing was immaculate. And they were able to get into the paint. They outscored North Carolina. I think it was 28-20 in the paint. And it seems like, you know, North Carolina should have the paint advantage, but with the passing and cutting and the play of Reese Beekman and Kihei Clark, it's really impressive by Virginia to get a second win on the season over North Carolina.
Played without Ben Vanderplas, who unfortunately broke his hand in practice yesterday, done for the season, and got very capable minutes from both Francisco Caffaro and Caden Shedrick up front. Galloway hoists it up with 5 on the clock, and it's down to Duana and the Pack.
Pretty good pressure on the ball on that possession by NC State. Didn't think of the first half they impacted the ball as much as they could have, but another turnover, a couple of sloppy turnovers, even though, you know, North Carolina State's shooting 75% in the second half. They're 3 of 4. I mean, you cough the ball up, you don't get a shot off, and that was really in large measure the difference in the first half. It was 8-4 in turnovers in favor of NC State, and that's why NC State had more shot attempts. Even though they didn't shoot as good a percentage as Clemson did, they got more shots.
And Clemson's basically gone 5 minutes now without P.J. Hall. He picked up that third foul 14 seconds, I think it was, into the second half, and they have extended a 3-point lead to 6 with one of their stars on the bench. Shefflin fights to get it off, but it rolls off the rim.
Nice job by Jack Clark just to stay between Shefflin and the basket and just force a difficult shot. Boy, a tough pass. What,
yeah.
Even if Duana catches it, what's he going to do with it?
And Terquavion Smith not having nearly as much fun tonight as he did last night.
Well, he shot some deep ones last night. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even the low. Let's put it this way. The referees didn't have to go to the monitor to see if anybody's foot was on the line on a 3. There was no doubt.
Yeah, it's whether the heels were on the logo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It would be an over and back violation before it would be a foot on the 3-point line.
Well, and you could see it was just one of those nights where they just knew the ball was going in. You know, kind of like Clemson had against NC State a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes you just have those nights. Turn around. Off the rim for Chase Hunter, and Duana down with a rebound.
Oh, a nice block out by Duana.
Marcel with a quick release from the corner, can't hit it, and Middlebrooks wraps up the rebound. Hunter being aggressive, had it swatted away. But there for the follow is R.J. Godfrey, and it's the largest lead of the night for the Tigers.
Well, Clemson's got some good-looking freshmen. R.J. Godfrey, his dad, played in the NFL. Randall Godfrey, he was a linebacker for about 10, 11 years in the NFL.
Jaquavion Smith now 3 for 11. Good look here. And it goes for Dylan Hunter. Great ball movement by the Tigers, and Kevin Keats wants another timeout.
Boy, the turnovers and poor decisions by NC State against Clemson's defense have put the NC State defense in a bad spot. The closeout and then a great kick out by Godfrey to a wide open shooter. And Clemson feeling it right now and stretching out that lead.
Love your cat but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
A look at what's going on in the Pac-12 men's tournament presented by New York Life. UCLA and Oregon have already advanced to the semis. Arizona, Stanford are playing now. And again, right after us tonight, here on ESPN, USC and Arizona State, as we have mentioned. The Sun Devils are a bubble team. So let's say you're a fan of, I don't know, Clemson. You'll want to stick around and watch Arizona State to see how they make out tonight. It's all about rooting for your team, Jay, and rooting against some others if you want to see your team get in.
Boy, good work by Ben Middlebrooks down in the low post. That was chest to chest.
Let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, very positive NC State last huddle. Coach Keats trying to infuse some positivity in his guys, saying, hey, we're fine, but we've got to get stops and we've got to rebound. Them not rebounding has been a big issue. They talked about going into some zone here. We'll see if they do it, but he's trying to stay positive even though they're down big right now.
That's going to be a little tougher after that. Ben Middlebrooks with a bucket. It's a 10-0 run for Clemson.
And Middlebrooks has really fought DJ Burns at both ends of the floor.
Around and out for Clark, and what a rebound by Hunter Tyson.
Well, that's what he does. He's one of the best defensive rebounders in the country. You know, in NC State, some of the turnovers have really set NC State back in this second half.
Middlebrooks for three. Left it short. Burns back into the game for State. Hall remains on the bench for the Tigers.
NC State trying to make something happen off the very first action. They need to get a reversal.
How about the minutes Middlebrooks has given them?
Yeah, just a really poor pass, though, by Jaquavion Smith. You have to pass away from the defense, not just to the offense. And Middlebrooks was able to break contact and get around, knock that ball away. Just a lazy pass for NC State.
Now a turnover and a run out for Smith. Whoa! You're not going to catch him. Smith thought he might have been fouled by Hunter, but a big bucket for the Wolfpack.
Well, NC State needs some more stops like that. And here they go with a little bit of zone 2-3. They're going to bring the wings up a little bit. So the corners are a place you can attack into the short corner. Godfrey staying behind the defense.
Tough catch by Middlebrooks. 4 to shoot. I don't know if he knows it. Godfrey did. Left it short, but they get it back. Tough pass stolen away by Clark. And again, it's Smith on a run out for a bucket.
Well, your half-court defense, if you're Clemson, has been so good. And then a couple of turnovers, and NC State gets layups and plays ahead of your defense.
And a little change of momentum here after going zone. Terquavion Smith, a couple of buckets, and NC State trying to fight back into it. Got it down to single digits. Defense turning into offense for the Wolfpack. Down by 9, a lot of time left.
Love your cat, but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
Well, balanced scoring for Clemson tonight. 5 guys between 8 and 11 points, led by P.J. Hall, who was on the bench for over 9 minutes. Picked up a foul 14 seconds into the second half. Brad Brownell sat him down. And probably, if you were to ask Brad, probably sat him down for longer than he thought he would because Clemson played so well in his absence.
Yeah, NC State turned the ball over. And the turnovers have been a problem for the Wolfpack in this second half. Those are shots that you don't get. But one thing, P.J. Hall, if he's on Burns defensively, he's got to play low and give himself some leverage. He picked up that third foul, just being too straight up and down. And NC State going to stay with this zone.
Tyson got free of Clark, but missed the baseline jumper.
Clark bothered it a little bit when he went up. I'm surprised that Tyson didn't take it a little bit further toward the rim.
All covering Burns, and again, each of them with 3 fouls. Bounce pass again in traffic. But Joyner can't finish. Joyner had 10 points in the first 7 minutes of the game, none since.
And when you cut off at DJ Burns, one, he can hit you with that pass, but also if he doesn't, that clears the area for a double team, and he can go one-on-one in the post.
Hall, turnaround, yes.
That's where he's dangerous. In the middle of that zone, he can turn and make that short shot. He can get out and set a ball screen against the zone, then pop out.
3rd team all ACC, P.J. Hall. Tough one as Smith got bothered. Somebody reached in on him, threw him off balance a little bit on the drive.
Well, Ian Shefflin's given really good minutes to Clemson in this game. Nice pass.
And Hall will go to the free throw line.
Now take a look at P.J. Hall here against the NC State defense. Down in the short corner here. And he'll just, as soon as there's a little exchange, he flashes into the middle, brings up the middleman, but he can make that shot. Not every player can operate out of the middle of the zone. And that's one reason Jim Boeheim played it for so long.
And notably, that foul is the 4th on DJ Burns. So he sits again. Dewana comes back in.
P.J. Hall is in the top 10 in the ACC in field goal percentage. Shoots 54%. He knocks down 40% of his threes, and he's hit 33 of them on the year. And he shoots over 80% from the line. And that's an efficient big man.
Yeah. Plays hard, has played through injuries in his career. And Brad Brownell describes him as about the most happy-go-lucky guy you'll meet.
Doesn't look like he avoids the weight room either.
No. Pretty good combo up front between him and Tyson.
Drop coverage, and that means it's a tough 2.
Good rebound by Shefflin. A touch for Hall. Doubled and foul.
And when you reach in on Hall, Casey Morsell came down to dig down. You really have to go in there with two hands and just try to grab the ball. If you're just going to swipe at it, you're going to hit some arm.
Low foul totals for both teams. You can see 3 on State, 2 on Clemson here in the second half. And we've got less than 9 minutes to go. Good look in the corner.
Good little pin and screen by P.J. Hall to free up Galloway.
You talked about it, more of a Clemson pace in this game, and it's been that way most of the night. Morsell knows.
And it's not that Clemson doesn't want to play fast, but when they get you, they take away your transition, you're going to play 5-on-5 in the half court, and their gap protection is excellent.
And they played fast there, and Galloway knocks it down. The assist to Chase Hunter. And again, it's the largest lead of the game for the Tigers, up by 16 on a team that scored 97 last night against Virginia Tech.
This is just a tough matchup for NC State.
Yeah.
You know, it really puts a ton of pressure on their front court. And Clemson, now they're in a horn set, back to man-to-man. Clemson's such a well-coached defensive team.
Boy, they're getting anything they want right now. The Tigers are rolling.
Shefflin has been outstanding in this game. 6'7" tall, a sophomore from Loganville, Georgia. He's physical. He's an outstanding passer. And Clemson now in transition. Chase Hunter does a great job of getting into the paint and then kicking it back. And Shefflin, excuse me, out from the three-point line. He showed every facet of his game in this one.
Love your cat, but hate dealing with their litter? It's time to try Pretty Litter. While other litters cover odor with harsh chemical perfumes, Pretty Litter's silica gel-based crystals absorb the odor to eliminate it. Say goodbye to stinky, clumpy litter and hello to a smarter litter. Our color-changing technology is designed to let you know when your cat might be having health issues. It's 99.9% dust-free, so you and your cat can breathe easier. And it's delivered free to your doorstep. Go to prettylitter.com to try the world's smartest cat litter today.
Leaves here with the studio update. We start in the Pac-12. Steve Wojciechowski with Arizona pulling away from Stanford.
Arizona pulled away late behind the strength of their front court. Ballo and Tubelis have combined for 44 points.
Well, Tom Crean, let's go to the Big 12. Rough and rugged game here between TCU and Kansas State.
Well, look at that lob up to Coles, takes it in, pump fake. All right, jumps over the phone, the yellow pages, I'll give you. All right, and still gets it off.
Sounds like Jay Billis's vertical.
Hey, now, first of all, yellow pages, coach? Boy, are you dating yourself? We're all dating ourselves, I guess. Yeah, phone books?
My vertical was measured in sheets of paper.
19-point lead Clemson. Jay, they have had 3 different runs of 10 or more. 3 double-digit runs, 13-0 and a couple of 10-0s. Look at this work from Middlebrooks. I mean, just playing volleyball up on the glass.
Just second and third effort by both Shefflin and Middlebrooks. And really, Clemson has had great contributions off the bench. I think they've just about shut out the NC State bench, but you know, Clemson's gotten really good production off the pine.
Middlebrooks has been great. Dylan Hunter has had great minutes tonight. 3 for 3, 8 points. Just his second made three-pointer of the season tonight. Very impressive performance after the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Boy, Tyson gets rid of it in a hurry as this one rims out.
Yeah, that goes from the shooting pocket to up in a hurry, doesn't it?
Yep. Morsell, nice little bump, creates the space, and it goes in.
I don't think Chase Hunter thought it was a nice little bump.
I'm comparing it to some of DJ Burns' bumps. Those are not nice little bumps.
Those are collisions.
Yeah. And a nice drive and a finish by Chase Hunter.
I'm so impressed with the play of Chase Hunter. He's moved over to that point guard spot just seamlessly.
How about that block from behind by Hunter Tyson? Boy, they are playing well at both ends. They are doing everything well right now. The spin. Oh, he got grabbed. Yep.
Well, to your point, Hunter Tyson coming from behind. The hesitation by Smith as he was trying to go through the chest of Galloway, just wiping that away before it could get to the backboard. And Hunter Tyson, can't say enough about the senior from Marone, North Carolina. Just a complete basketball player. And he's gotten better every year. Worked hard to be a consistent scorer and start as a starter last year to being a first-team all-conference player.
And you talked to Brad Brownell about him as we did earlier this morning, and he'll talk about his voice and his leadership and how he's a connector on this team.
And Brad Brownell has done such a nice job with this Clemson program. He's got over 400 career wins now. Both these coaches, Kevin Keats and Brad Brownell, they coached at UNC Wilmington and coached them to the NCAA tournament. And then Brad Brownell went to Wright State, and he was a pressing coach back then.
Wow. How about Ian Shefflin? Another terrific game, and terrific might be understating it. Had one against Notre Dame on Saturday, and now having an equally good game here tonight against the Wolfpack.
I don't think they're going to have to convince him anymore how good he is.
I know.
I think he gets it.
What a turnaround here in this game. NC State led by 9 early in this game. After this Shefflin bucket, we have seen a 33-point turnaround as the Tigers are now up by 24. Let's send it to Holly.
A lot of people are calling Ian Shefflin the X factor for this Clemson team. And since he came into the starting lineup when they went to this big lineup, he's really settled in and gotten comfortable. He admitted that last year he'd get thrown in the game and it would kind of freak him out. He didn't always know what he was doing, but he knows what he's doing now. His last 4 regular season games, he combined for 36 points, shot almost 70%. And he is very comfortable out there. He's been a huge factor today. And I mean that this big lineup is making it hard for NC State to get clean looks.
Yeah, he has had a terrific couple of weeks, and with each passing minute on their way to their 3rd win of the year over NC State. We talked about it. Big picture again. That's what people are talking about here in Champ Week. They're a bubble team. Joe Lunardi moved them from next 4 out to first 4 out earlier tonight.
They're in the tournament.
They're got to be in. I'm with you.
It's not even a discussion. They were in before, and they're in now.
Another quality win here. 4 minutes and 20 seconds away for the Tigers.
I mean, you know, look, this is all fun to discuss, but I'd like to hear some committee member explain to me how some of these other teams are better. They're not.
For Brad Brownell, this is his 13th year as the head coach at Clemson. If they get into the tournament, it would be the 4th time they get in under him. Galloway followed it up and is fouled. 3:55 to go. You won't see it yet, but boy, he's got to be pleased, beyond pleased with his team's effort.
I used to be a cat lady. Now I'm a cat goddess, thanks to Pretty Litter. It soaks up odor better than any cat litter I've ever used. It's ultra light and changes color to monitor my cat's health. Pretty Litter tells you what your cat can't. 'Cause a happy feline makes life divine. And Pretty Litter delivers to your door. It's all pretty magical if you ask me. Go to prettylitter.com.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life. Over 12,000 agents there to help guide you through life's happiest and most difficult times. Well, here in the last quarterfinal of the night, early on, Kevin Keats' Wolfpack had a 20-11 lead. They've been outscored 61-28 since. And you saw that coming into this game. Their two most lopsided losses of the season were to Clemson. It's now going to be 3. The Tigers have had the Pack's number every time they've played.
And Brevin Galloway knocks down these 2 free throws. Galloway started his college career at Charleston, where he played for Earl Grant, then went to Boston College, and now having the best season, I think, of his career at Clemson.
Burns spins to the baseline, double teamed. And it's Clemson ball. All 5 starters are on the floor right now for the Tigers as Galloway lays it in. Brad Brownell still barking, still coaching. At some point, you know he's going to look at the bench and probably get all 5 of them out of there. They're going to have another game tomorrow. Virginia, by the way, beat Clemson in Charlottesville by 7 a couple of weeks ago. Breon Pass with a baseline jumper.
Well, if I were Clemson, I would think long and hard about putting some full court pressure on Virginia. And not full court pressure to speed him up, but actually full court pressure to slow him down. Take time off the clock, and then you've only got to guard their stuff in the half court for about 15 seconds or so. I mean, it's going to be a slower paced game no matter what when you play Virginia, and you might as well use some full court pressure to your advantage.
Well, for everything you want to know about what's gone on all day and night here in Greensboro, the place to turn is over on ACC Network. The Nothing But Net crew is getting ready. Kelsey Ricks, Joel Berry, Carlos Boozer, Luke Hancock, ready to roll. I think Carlos and Joel are texting each other right now.
That's how Duke guys and Carolina guys talk to each other.
They're not allowed to speak publicly, so
no eye contact.
Yeah. Carlos Boozer won 3 ACC tournament championships in his time at Duke, and he was named the most outstanding player of this tournament his junior year. Joel Berry also named the most outstanding player when Carolina won an ACC championship a few years back.
Carlos Boozer and Trajan Langdon have wonderful arguments over who was the best player ever out of the state of Alaska.
It's pretty good. Pretty good to be in that conversation. That'd be a spirited debate.
Kelsey Riggs is the one with the hard job.
Oh, absolutely.
The all-time scoring leader out of Alaska right now, though, guys, I hate to break to you, it's Alyssa Peely. She's the Pac-12 Player of the Year from the University of Utah. So I'm going to throw her name into the ring as one of the best players ever out of Alaska.
Well done.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Let's get her on that text chain.
2.5 to go. Look out.
You're not supposed to warn them.
I'm sorry. Was that my outside voice? We're not supposed to influence the game, just commentate on the game.
Talk about the announcer jinx.
State ball with 2:27 to go. You surprised all the starters are still in the game for Clemson?
Maybe a little bit, but you know, this is Clemson's first game of the tournament. And so, you know, keeping a little momentum before you pull the plug. What you want to avoid is somewhere where a guy gets hurt, obviously, but
Tyson will go to the line.
NC State foul whistle on 24, Ernest Ross.
Foul on Ernest Ross of State. So NC State will finish up the regular season 23-10 and await their fate on Selection Sunday. They seem assured of a bid.
Brad Brownell taking his starters out. And Brad Brownell has his arms around Chase Hunter right now, and Chase Hunter played another great game. I mean, he's been great in ACC play. He's averaged about 13 points, 4 or 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in ACC play. But what did he have? 9 or 10 assists in this game. Not very many turnovers, if at all. Just a really good floor game. by an outstanding player.
9 assists, 1 turnover, to your point tonight.
That is a 9-to-1 assist turnover ratio.
Yes, it is. You have been razor sharp tonight. Ross a little strong on the 3. Will be an interesting matchup with Clemson and Virginia tomorrow night. Again, Virginia's without Ben Vanderplas, so it'll be Caffaro, Shedrick, and Gardner. Those are the 3 big guys. 2 will be on the floor at any time for Virginia, who will be tussling with the likes of Tyson and Hall. Morcell splits the defense and will go to the line for 2. It's going to be fun tomorrow. Miami Duke in the first one, and then Clemson to Virginia in the second. And that means top 4 seeds, right? Chalk into the semis.
And we were all talking about how crazy it was going to be. And you've got seeds 1, 2, 3, and 4 advancing.
You know how close this conference has been. You know this well, but for folks outside the league who may not know, Pittsburgh went into the last day of the regular season. If they had gone down to Miami and won, they would have been the 1 seed. By losing, they were the 5 seed. That's how close it was for the top 5 or 6 teams in this league. And they only lost by 2 points down at Miami. Got knocked around pretty good by Duke today. Duke getting better and better by the game right now.
Well, if they knock in, you know, anytime you have 27 assists and knock in, what did they knock in? 12 threes or something? Yes, they shot the ball ridiculously well, and Tyrese Proctor gets better by the game. By looking over at Brad Brownell, he's got to be very pleased with the way his team has played, not only all season long, but especially tonight. You know where he went to college?
No.
DePaul. Not DePaul, DePaul. You know who else went there?
No.
Brad Stevens.
Oh.
A lot of good coaches went to DePaul. And Brad also played high school basketball with Calbert Chaney.
Wow.
I wonder who got more shots.
So he wasn't the leading scorer, is what you're telling me. Nearing the final minute here, an impressive performance by the Tigers and a win that you got to believe, and I know their fan base has to believe, is going to be enough to get them in regardless of what happens beyond tonight. Another quality win for Clemson tonight. Godfrey, nice pass. Wiggins for 3. DeWan, a big collision, got the worst of it with Middlebrooks as we are into the final 30 seconds.
Well, and the semifinals of the ACC tournament are going to be fun. And the referee's trying to get in the way of some of the players, make sure that everybody keeps their cool as this thing ends up.
And DeWan not happy with the collision that he had with Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks not happy with DeWan's reaction to it.
Well, the game's been physical all game long.
Yeah. Again, Miami Duke's going to be fascinating. The last time they met, Miami really gave it to the Blue Devils. Duke clearly is a better team now than they were a few weeks ago. Miami, the 1 seed in the league. And there's the first smile of the night. Finally got it in the last minute of play. And he and his team have earned it.
Earned 1 smile. Congratulations, you're in the semifinal and you get 1 smile.
Right. And now the second unit will come out and the walk-ons will come in for the Tigers.
Now I think there needs to be a change in NCAA rules that when the deep bench players, the walk-ons, get into the game, that they don't have to dribble out the clock, that they get to play.
That it's not bad form if they take a shot.
Yeah, exactly. I would actually vote for extra time being put on the clock.
32, Daniel Nassif.
Daniel Nassif, Jack Nassif, Matt Kelly, Devin Foster, all checking in for Clemson.
And Nassif brothers from Dayton, Ohio, and Daniel Nassif was a manager before being a player. And nobody works harder in basketball than basketball managers. If you are an employer looking for great employees, hire a basketball manager.
Yep. Shot clock turned off. We'll see if somebody gets a shot up here for Clemson.
And if they won't take the job, hire a commentator.
Because we always have tenuous job security in our current position. So, yeah.
Looking for work.
That's right.
We'll work for food.
You call, we'll answer. They will let the clock run out. What a performance by Clemson tonight. Down 9 early, they win going away by 26 and beat NC State for the 3rd time this season.